Cheers to yourselves and Happy New Year. Thank you for joining me here today. And wow, what a year it's been. My first year on YouTube. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a hell of a lot about myself, about whiskey, about YouTube, about video making. And yeah, we find ourselves here on New Year's Day, my first video of 2026. And I thought, what a great time to take a look back at 2025 and the drams I've had. Following the success of my top 5 drams from my advent calendar, I thought I'd do a top 5 drams that I've had overall in 2025, excluding the advent calendar. And then I'll bring you a top 5 budget drams that'll be coming next week. So stay tuned for that one that I think might actually be even more important than this. But yeah, I've got a little dram in my glass today. I'm just drinking my Infinity today. Most of this went in 2025, a little bit the year before that. And yeah, we're up to a big number with a couple of advent calendars worth of whiskey in there and things like that. That instantly puts 50 different things in there for 2x25. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. And everything that you've seen the dregs for is all in there. But yeah, getting into the list for today. So at number 5, we've got the Bushmills Causeway Collection Year 2000 Port Cask. Absolutely stunning whiskey. Tons of juicy red fruits and sharp citrus kind of balancing it out. Cuts through it really nicely and ending with a real kind of red wine spice, like drinking a really good Shiraz or something like that. Peppery, spicy, and again, those just big red juicy fruits all the way through. Absolute beauty of a whiskey. And one of the first Irish whiskies that really got me to sit up and pay attention to the category. It's not a cheap one by any means, but yeah, really enjoyed that. Number 4, again going back to quite early in the year, the Fib Whisky, Edinburgh Whisky Festival, Port Dundas. My name's Doddy, 24-year-old. Again, as with this year, I picked up the Macallan, the next year's batch. But this was a big, old, beautiful grain whiskey, refill bourbon barrel, finished in sherry. Can you ask for anything more? Custard with a bit of sherry, grain spice, all sort of blending with caramel, vanilla, and yeah, just warm, old, dusty, and everything that you want from that 20-plus-year-old grain. That sherry finish on it just gave it a beautiful edge and made it so inviting. Absolute cracker of a whiskey. Amazing prices, as most grain whiskies tend to be. And yeah, money to charity on top. What more can you actually ask for than that? Number 3, something I only tried a dram of. Old Pulteney Pinot de Charente cask. Tried this in Scotland. Pretty sure it was in Glasgow. Pretty sure it was in the pot still. Went back to the bottle 2 or 3 times that night. Perfect balance of salty and sweet, with just stewed fruits and honey poured all over it. Absolute amazing whiskey. And Old Pulteney, when it's done right, I think can be one of my favourite spirits. It's just a shame 85% of what's out there is absolute drivel that they put out. But when it's done right, when it's naturally presented, wowzers, what a whiskey. And yeah, Pinot de Charente, I think, is fast becoming one of my favourite finishes or maturation casks, because it's lovely. And one of these days, I'm going to get a bottle of the actual stuff. And yeah, can't wait for that. In at number 2, another dram from another bar. This one, I know 100% where it was. It was the Bow in Edinburgh. It was a Fragrant Drops Balblair 12 Sauterne cask. Wowzers. Looking at Fragrant Drops in the past, based on the kind of bottle shapes, the stoppers, the decanter style, And the first few things I'd ever seen online were all like 30-plus-year-old. I thought, this is a brand that's not for me. This is a brand that's putting out 300, 400, 500-pound bottles of whiskey. How wrong was I? I tried 3 or 4 drams whilst I was in Scotland and since, all staggering. This one in particular, though, citrus desserts, you're talking lemon meringue pie, you're talking drizzle cakes, you're talking all those lovely, lovely things, balanced with kind of herbally spice and all slathered on buttered toast. Wonderful, wonderful finish, and just that meaty Belblair spirit just punches through all of it. Staggering, staggering stuff. And that's a bottle I'm keeping my eye out for at auction, because if I see one of those come up, I'll be all over it. And then number 1, it's something that if you saw my video just up there of the 2 Arons that I tried, I think this won't come as a huge surprise to you. It was a 29-year-old single bourbon cask 1996 that I tried whilst on the tour. Luckily, we were poured 2 drams of this, and if I had all the money in the world, I'd have bought the rest of what they had. Stunning, stunning stuff, but huge prices. I can understand why. It's a year into the distillery and it's nearly 30 years old. I was 4 when it was laid down, but wow, tobacco, oak, almost a kind of mushroom, savoury, umami notes, but still that wonderful cream and fruit that Aaron's so known for. And it just shows what quality spirit and quality wood does. It was honestly probably the best dram I've ever tried. No matter just my best dram of 2025, but £400 is a lot for a bottle and would have blown the whole month's budget for the whole trip. But yeah, absolute stunner. Now, I'd love to know, they're my top 5 for 2025. And as I said earlier, next week I'll come back with my top 5 budget drams for 2025. And then the week after that, my top 5 drams that I want to try in 2026. But I'd love to know in the comments below what your favourite drams of 2025 was. What surprised you, what was great, and what let you down. Let me know. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And again, if you've tried something that's exceptional, I want to know so I can pick a bottle up. I think this community is great when we all work together on things, and I'd love to know what your guys' thoughts were. But thank you all so much for joining me here today. I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on these particular whiskies. If any of them interest you, I'd strongly recommend, if you get a chance, pick up at least a dram of them, because I'm confident in those 5 picks. But thank you all so much for joining me here today. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below. It means a lot to me. As I said, any thoughts on any of these, if you've tried them, I'd love to know, or what your top drams were. Drop those in the comments. I'll be sure to get back to you. If you really enjoyed the content, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you're informed next time I post. But other than that, once again, thank you all so much for joining me here today. I'd love to see you again for another episode of the Neckpour, the Dregs, or just my thoughts and opinions on whiskey. But until the next time, cheers, Salancha, and I'll see you again.